Hey everyone, I just decided there's so many good requests here and I missed some of them, so I go back through them and Ara Gold, Claren, I love this one and I'm just going to read yours. This is just separate, it's doubt, but I just wanted to get this one in today as well. So thanks for doing the topic of doubting the good in our life. Could you do a tapping video about doubting that I will ever be completely and permanently healed, be 100% healthy again, have good health, doubting that I could ever heal myself, doubting that my throat will ever be able to swallow solid foods with ease again, doubting that all the pain in my body can disappear, be gone permanently, doubting that I will ever receive and have a divine healing miracle for my body and mind, and feeling sad, emotional, and frustrated about this health situation. Sending you love, gratitude, thanks for all your help for all of us here. This is such a good one. I have definitely worked with people that have chronic health issues. And I have one gal, again, not making medical claims here, so please know that, that had a inoperable brain tumor. And actually, I'm going to stop my mail so it stops doing the frickin' ding dong, ding ding dong, the witch is dead. But the idea here is, sorry, these are impromptu. So the idea is, anyway, back to the gal. So she came, we started working together, and she got a, hey Tiana, how are ya? I'm gonna wave at ya. So she had come and had a tumor, and like all the diagnoses were, it's not going to change. There's no way. And the long and short of it to me, she had done so much work on different things with herself, and then we did some sessions together, and her doctor had told her, hey, try tapping. He didn't do it. He did it on himself, but he didn't do it. And within 6 sessions, the tumor had shrunk in half, and then it shrunk again. And why I say that, she came to me and said, this is the only thing I've done differently. So again, please know I'm not making medical claims here. Why I tell you that story is, one, I think she had such a strong, huge will to live, which is the biggest part of it. And then we just tapped on all the different stuff that had been buried. So for yours, Aura, I do this some psychosomatics training. So I'm just going to go through this with swallowing. When you have issues swallowing, anything with the throat, couple things psychosomatically is you weren't able to, and don't believe me, as always, check in and see what feels true to you, please. Like with anybody, anything anybody ever tells you, I just say trust yourself. So let it sit in, sink in, resonate, and go, does that feel true to me or not? And I would always say, don't go to the intellect. Try and bypass that, go to emotions or feel it in your body, because that's where you'll get the real, genuine yes, if that makes sense, or no, it's not. So anything to do with the inability to swallow, anything around the throat psychosomatically, is unable to speak my truth. So things to look at is when you were a child, which I think is true for many of us, most of us, were you not allowed your truth? Was your, I'm going to say your spirit crushed? Were you told, no, children should be seen and not heard? All those things that so many, that's my generation. Children should be seen and not heard. Really? Listen, watch children every chance you get. So tune in to any memory you have around when did you not speak your truth? And swallowing, inability to swallow is what were you facing in life, or what are you currently facing? What did you have to face back then that you didn't want to have to swallow it? You were having to swallow stuff emotionally, swallow, say, situations in your life that you did not want to swallow, it was like, no, it manifests there. in the throat. So that's the other thing. And especially in the pain in my body, any pain in your body. So go back and find where were the most painful memories. The body is flipping amazing. And I think, unfortunately, most of us are taught to reject our body, to just go, it disappoints me, it lets me down. To me, the key here is to get into this idea of the body is amazing, how it takes on for us all the unfelt feelings. The post Annie said by Matt Kahn is, physical pain is cellular debris leaving the body, unprocessed emotions to create more space and light in the body. So go to the pain, just those painful memories. And then it says, I'm doubting that all the pain in my body. So I'm going to start here. We're just going to tap on, I doubt that this will ever change for me. And here's the thing. It's very likely you've had a ton of momentum going, especially with chronic pain. I can't even imagine having chronic pain. Like, I've had pain that's lasted a long time, like weeks. And I think my heart goes out to people that experience chronic pain, because that becomes the norm for you. So let's just start tapping. So karate chop. Hey, Tiana. Even though I doubt that it's possible at all for my body to ever truly heal, I choose to acknowledge I feel this way. Even though I doubt that it's possible. In fact, I'm convinced it's impossible. Because I've tried and failed so many times to heal my body. And yet here I sit. I choose to acknowledge my feelings now. Even though I doubt that this is ever going to change for me. It would have changed by now. And yet here I am, still struggling with my health. I honor myself and my feelings now. It's impossible. This is never going to change for me. It would have changed by now. It's not going to happen for me. It's just not possible. But what if it is? Oh no. It would have happened by now. I've tried anything and everything. And yet here I sit. I'm still in pain. Pain has become my constant companion. And every time I have to swallow, I am constantly reminded that I haven't healed. So I'm getting inundated all day long. Every time I try and swallow. And I can't. And I live with chronic pain. So all day long and into the night, I'm constantly being bombarded with the message that I'm never going to heal. So of course I don't believe it's possible. Of course I don't. And I just want to honor all of this. It's so challenging to live in constant pain. To struggle every time I swallow. So the cells in my body are constantly being bombarded. And I'm constantly being reminded it's never going to change for me. But what if this is something that I could turn over? What if I could surrender just a little bit my health to God, to the divine? This is too big for me. It's too much. Hey, Cameron. And what if it's possible that this is something I could keep turning over, keep surrendering to God, to the divine, to whatever I believe is a power greater than myself. Surrender all throughout the day. Tap to interrupt the pattern, to interrupt the pain, and then keep surrendering each and every day. That could feel like that much of a relief. But what I do know, this is too much for me. I've done everything I can think of. And it's certainly not for lack of trying that I haven't healed yet. And what if, by surrendering, in whatever that means to me, I'm calling forward that wiser part of me to help me find solutions, to direct me to the right people that can finally truly help me heal permanently. I don't have to believe this yet, but what if I can entertain the idea that by turning it over to a higher force, solutions can come to me? And take a breath. So, Cameron, Tiana, glad you guys are both here. So, it's interesting. So, I've had this thing with my arm, and the psychosomatics make complete sense. You know, arms are how we reach out in the world, right? Left side of the body's feminine energy, right side's masculine energy. It can be men in our life, women in our lives, or our own masculine, feminine energy. And the other day, you know, we've been on this road trip, we got back. And I was noticing, because I was sleeping in a bed that's not mine, and it seemed to be aggravating it. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, like I noticed my thoughts started going, oh my God, this is just getting worse. And I started circling the drain because that felt pretty constantly painful to me. And all of a sudden we're driving and I'm like, Marty, why don't you turn this over? And here's the thing, what I like the combination of tapping is obviously my go-to, my favorite. And I think tapping deals with very much the human part of us, the human emotions. It's dealing with that part of us. And what if surrendering, turning something over, you're calling forward a higher part. If it's God, if it's the divine, if it's the universe, if it's a wiser part of you, to me, this combination is huge. It's like, I've done everything I can. And what's interesting is I'm sitting in the car as we're driving, noticing this is like painful and it's irritating. And I'm like, I'm going to turn this over. And here's the fascinating thing. Literally, I've noticed like this is not chronic now. This has been going on for probably a couple months, and I noticed that it started to increase. And then today when I was lifting up my dog, I was like, whoa, there's a way, another way. But what I started to do is I'd come into our garage and there's a tube of arnica. And my husband's always, and I've used it before, but my husband's like, that stuff works miracles, man. And I thought, I'm going to call forth a miracle. And I've been putting it on my arm, and I cannot tell you how much better it feels. And then I've been guided to, do some other tapping on it. And I know as I've looked at the psychosomatics, I've tapped on the psychosomatics of it. But it's like, I was like, oh, I didn't even think to turn it over. But that's the thing, is it takes practice to go, turn everything over. I tap and do my part. And then I'm like, okay, I've done what I can. I'm turning this over. And not ironically, of course, magically, solutions are coming. This is starting to feel better. And then I was like, oh yeah, Marty, do this slow yoga poses to help it. And all of a sudden, the solutions came to me. The thing was, before I started noticing, I'm circling the drain, I was becoming problem oriented. And even though tapping, I'm like, and then I was like, I tapped and I tapped and I tapped. And then I'm like, okay, now I'm going to turn it over. I've done what I can. That's why I like this combination very much. So if this resonates with you, again, don't believe me, try it and see for yourself, because I think anybody that's probably in this group, it's not for lack of trying that things haven't changed in your life. And then what if, where, I know there's the term, I think it's in A Course in Miracles, the small self. So let's call it the human part of us. We're doing what we can as human beings, and now it's like, oh, now it's time to surrender, to let go. I do this now whenever I remember it, like throughout the day, when I catch myself, it's like, woo, there's a thought. I love this line. I choose to see love instead of this. I choose to see love instead of this. And even if in the moment I'm not believing it, even if the moment my brain's going, bullshit, 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 it doesn't matter. I keep saying it. I'll be like, I choose to see love instead of this. I want to see love instead of this. I want to see love instead of this. So try that. Hope you found this helpful. Cameron, always love seeing you here live. Tiana, always love seeing you, girl. And hope you found this helpful. And Claren, I hope you find this helpful as well. Thanks for posting this. You guys have a great rest of your day. Bye for now.